part of LGBT community in the Philippines is very hard.
While you can skip a school year without experiencing bullying.
It was really hard for us to be ourselves.
This research aims to study the impacts of discrimination in the lives of the LGBTQ students, identify why the SOGI bill is an essential part of the Philippine society, and how it will help the struggles of LGBTQ students, and to formulate recommendations to institutions on the choice of the appropriate strategy to prevent acts of discrimination against LGBTQ students. After the completion of the research, it is expected that with the content, people will be able to understand and accept people regardless of gender. The Philippines is considered as a gay-friendly country. However, it is reported that Filipino lesbian, gay, transgender, and bisexual community, especially LGBT students, are struggling with bullying and discrimination from families, communities, and schools.
Being an LGBT student in the Philippines is not easy. We get a lot of responses that being part of LGBT usually face bullying. Some of the bullying is physical bullying such as punch, push, bato, kutos, and some are verbal bullying such as name calling and verbal abuse.
I've experienced a lot of discrimination, especially when it comes to verbal. They used to call me faggot back then until now. They always tease me not knowing what I feel when they call me in that way.
My teacher always told me to act feminine whenever I became so loud or whenever I'm with my boy best friends or I'm surrounded by boy in our room and in our house too. Since I like monochrome colors, they always ask me why I like black than pink, the usual stereotypes people do.
Although the Philippines law provided protection against discrimination, it is exclusive in school. Still many of LGBT students experiencing discrimination because of lack of understanding from the school administrator and lack of education about the existence of third gender.
Even my closest friend or even my family discriminates me.
Most of the discriminator of the LGBT students are the homophobic people and the religious people.
Even though Philippines is known as the gay-friendly country, it is also known as world's religious country. This is the reason why SOGI bill is not been approved by the government.
The religious people believe that God only created man and woman and no one get in between or else will get punished in hell according to Leviticus chapter 18 verse 22 and Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13.
A lot of the LGBT students still hiding from public about their gender.
In the interview we conducted, we found out that most of our participants are experiencing discrimination and bullying, but the most heartbreaking is the authorities did not do some action to protect the third gender. And we have a participant who wanted to be interviewed, but he was afraid that his parents may find out that his classmates were bullying him because of his gender. The LGBT students are facing a lot of challenges just because of their gender.
I don't overthink that much about the discrimination they throw at me.
Because of the lack of education and information about the discrimination experienced by the LGBT student, they usually get along with the discrimination. The only or the common thing they do is just ignore the people who discriminate them, and they ignored negativity because after all, nothing will change. They are still part of LGBT and they are proud of it.
But nowadays, it feels like normal for us to discriminate and downplay other people because the moment we deal with it or we accept our true gender identity, it's usual because we better know ourselves than them.
On the positive side, even though others hate them, they still have friends and family to support them, and it is their motivation to move forward and be successful one day.
The only reason that we chose this topic in research is because nowadays, the LGBT is experiencing discrimination in the internet and in real-life situations, and this experience will give a lot of impact to them. It will affect their studies, communication with other people, and worse is to end their lives just because of the people who lack knowledge and understanding about their gender and identity.